to Federline. What's good?
What up, man? What up?
Welcome to Vlad TV.
Thanks, bro. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming.
Definitely.
So where'd you grow up exactly?
I grew up in Fresno, California.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you ended up actually dropping out of high school
I did. I went and took my GED
later on.
later on, yeah.
But you dropped out in the ninth grade?
Ninth grade.
That's freshman year.
I went from ninth grade, I started doing homeschool, and then, I mean, it just wasn't really, I don't know, I wasn't interested. There wasn't, the teachers at that time for me weren't keeping me interested in school. You know, my mind was in other places.
Okay. So you dropped out, and then what, you started homeschooling?
Yeah, I started going to homeschooling, and it was like this homeschooling where you had to show up 1 week. It's like a continuation school type thing.
Okay.
So I did that for a little while, and then I even stopped doing that.
Just weren't feeling the whole school
Wasn't
thing.
feeling it.
Okay. So after you left school, what did you start doing?
I started dancing, like, I mean, I danced a little bit, like hip hop dancing from the time I was like 13 to 15. And then
So hip hop dance, break dancing?
break dancing, you know, all kind of everything.
Yeah.
And then, you know, at that time, you know, it was the 90s, so it was definitely like the routine stuff started coming in where, you know, you're mostly on your feet. You're not doing all the tricks. And I mean, I'll do a little bit here and there, but I tried to get into the breaking thing, but it was such a tough gig. You know, you got to be a gymnast pretty much to do that stuff. So
yeah, like I actually used to break, junior high.
Right.
Once high school came around, I'm like, I can't hang with this. Like I
right.
couldn't windmill and all this other.
Yeah,
really,
see, I couldn't really. I didn't go that route either because I was more into like the popping aspect of it and staying on your feet.
Right.
So I really, there's a few guys that I would get with and I kind of fell out of that for a while. And then that's when I like dropped out of high school, you know, hanging out with the wrong crowd, up to no good, that type of stuff.
Okay.
And then this kid, his name is Jimmy Federico, is actually my best friend now. He stuck with it, and I saw him later on when I was like 19, and he was good. I mean, he literally like amazed me, and he was talking about coming down to LA and that he got an agent and this and that. I'm like, damn, you know, you can make money at this. So I got back with him, and we went to this nonprofit organization called Dance Empowerment. They were like bringing kids off the street and teaching them how to dance, and the guy that ran it was a good friend of mine that I was dancing with when I was younger. Mm-hmm. So we all kind of fed off each other and were helping each other out and dancing with the kids and stuff like that. And then one day he just was like, look, let's go to LA right now, you know, quit your job, I'll give you $1,000. And for some reason, you know, that's like enticing me to come. And
right.
I wanted to come, you know, so it was like follow your dream type of thing. It's like jump off a cliff and see if you could float to the other side, you know.
What was your job at the time?
I was delivering pizzas at the time.
It wasn't a tough job to leave.
It wasn't a tough job to leave. Yeah, man. I mean, I went through like car wash, fast food, pizza, detailing RVs. I mean, just horrible, you know, laboring jobs, especially out there in Fresno. I don't know if anybody knows, but it gets up in the 115 degree range in the summertime. So you're out there working on cars. It's not fun.
Okay, yeah. And Fresno is located between LA and the Bay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, you don't have the industry that either of those areas have. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it is. You know, Fresno is definitely, I want to say there's a lot more Bay Area influences in Fresno than there is like Southern California.
Yeah.
You know, so I grew up with like the Drew Downs and E40 and the Click and D-Shot and all, you know, all that stuff from the Bay Area. I mean, I listened to everything, you know, from Two Live Crew to Cool Mo D when I was a kid. I think my first like vinyl record was a Gucci Crew, like way.
I remember those days. Yeah,
ages ago now, man.
So you and your friends, your two friends, he gives you $1,000 and says, "Let's move to LA and become dancers."
Yeah, well, he had already had an agent, and he came out here and booked Christina Aguilera's verse video, you know, dancing, doing Genie in a Bottle. And so I was like, all right. And I saw like he was making pretty good money compared to what you're making in Fresno working at a pizza place, you know?
Right.
So I did it. I came out here, moved to LA, like on a whim. I mean, I gave my 2 weeks notice, you know, I was like, stuck it out for about 4 or 5 days. And I'm like, all right, I gotta go, you know, this isn't for me.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know, it was like that. It was a turning point in my life because I felt like when I came out here, I was only out here for about, once I decided to actually make the move, I was only here for 4 or 5 days and I was on tour. Like
Really?
I booked a tour with LFO, the Abercrombie and Fitch dudes.
Right, the light, funky ones.
Yeah, yeah.
Right,
yeah.
exactly. They had a song with MOP that made no sense whatsoever.
Oh man,
I remember I interviewed
those
Billy.
guys. They were interesting, man. They were an interesting group of guys. It was definitely like the perfect fit for me for my first like American tour, you know, because I'd never been really anywhere outside of California other than like Nevada. I lived in Carson City when I was a kid, and I've been up to Oregon because my mom and my parents split when I was young, so my mom lived up in Oregon, so I've been up to Oregon a few times, but mostly all the west side of everything. So once I got to LA and I got to go on this tour, it was just like an eye-opener. And then going around the world is an even bigger eye-opener, you know. But so having come here and do that, it's that moment of where you like, okay, I put everything, all of my energy into this. I love it. It was my passion, you know, it was my drive, it was everything. If anything was wrong at any time, I could go into a dance studio and I could start freestyling and I forget about everything. It was my release. So now I'm making money for that.
Yeah.
And when I saw that, the money coming for that, I was just like, all right. And I started getting better. I learned everybody's styles and I was going to auditions and I started booking stuff without having an audition, and you know, get to this point where you're working with like Pink and seeing Justin, Genuine, Usher, Destiny's Child, Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson. Okay, so you end up dancing background from Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Who, there's been a lot of great dancers over the years, like Fred Astaire and, you know, other dudes like that. Michael's definitely considered one of the greats, if not the greatest.
Oh yeah,
dancing.
I mean, by far, I think he's by far the greatest performer. Period. Like, not just dance. It's few people that I've seen on stage in my life like can walk up and say nothing and stare down a crowd of 100,000 people and everybody feel them. Like that presence is like so strong. You know, it's on some whole other level shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, like that moment for me that was it. That was like the big moment of my dance career. And the guys that worked with Michael at the time that hired me, Richmond and Tony and Fly, and Michael Rooney, Mickey Rooney's son. There was 4 choreographers on that gig, and all I did was video. You know, because he wasn't really doing a tour or anything at that time. It was like in between. He was dropping that Rock My World with Chris Tucker in the video, Marlon Brando. I got to meet Marlon Brando too. That was epic, like for me. But these guys, man, they're like really, really good, and they've been working with Michael since they were like 15, 16 years old. These 2 Samoan kids, brothers, they're like some of the dopest to ever do it.
So you were in Michael Jackson's, which video?
Rock My World.
Right. And you were a backup dancer in the video.
Yes.
Did you interact with Michael at all?
Yeah. I mean, it was interesting, you know, like the type of character that he was, like a kid around on stage, you know, and on the set. We sat out at that Universal Studios lot for like 2 weeks trying to get one video done, you know, and back then they were turning videos around in 2 days. So, I mean, you could imagine the production of what it was, you know, and then to see like his interaction with him and Marlon Brando, they're driving around on a golf cart and like acting like they're gonna run people over. And then there's other times where we were on set and we were getting ready to dance, you know, Michael has like some squirt gun or something, and he's like hiding behind stuff, and people like you didn't know it was him, and people are like trying to act out their scenes, and he's squirting them in the face with water and stuff. I mean, it was, you know, everybody was just having a good time. But when it came down to like business, Dude, it was crazy. I remember the first time, like, we sat there and rehearsed for about a week, and then before he even came in the room, you knew he was there. You know, it was like that type of presence was just nuts, and everybody, you could hear a pin drop in that room before he walked in, and then everybody came in, everybody met him, shook his hand. He's like, "All right, let me see it." You know, hiding behind his shades, no music, click track. I'm just like, dude, come on. How hard can it get? You know, you're just like nervous as shit. Probably one of the most nerve-wracking things in my life.
Yeah.
And I was the one that like messed up the first time too. And he wasn't even looking at us, like he was looking at the ground. And he heard me mess up, and he looked up and looked at me like, "You better get it together, kid." You know, it's crazy.
Okay. So, but you also danced for Destiny's Child.
Yeah.
How was that?
Destiny's Child. I had a lot of fun. I did Survivor. I did the Grammys, Soul Train Awards. I did, you know, a few like award shows and stuff whenever they were in LA, and they were cool, man. I mean, at the time they were young too. Everybody, you know, it's like early 20s. Maybe they weren't even in their 20s yet. You know, some of them might have been. Others were still in their teens. They were really cool. Like they were all having fun. It was like at the height of their moment, you know, as Destiny's Child, the group. So I want to say like every job that I did, almost every job that I did was just incredible. You know, you get these preconceived notions about Hollywood before you come here, and LA in general, you know, around the world, like people look at it different ways, you know. So to come out here and be a part of what goes on behind the scenes and what it takes to make an artist and what it takes to make good music, and meeting all these people and everybody, you're on the same line of passion with these people, so you already have a connection. So it's, I mean, for the most part, it was all love.
Yeah. How did you end up hooking up with Justin Timberlake?
So one of my best friends, Marty Kudelka, he's a big choreographer. I mean, he's one of the best too. We were on Pink's tour together. It was me, him, and a guy named Eddie Morales. And Eddie had hired me and then hired Marty, and we all hit it off, you know, all of us, me, between him and then my best friend that I moved out here with from Fresno. Us four were just, it was like our wolf pack, you know. And Marty was hiring me for jobs here and there. Marty started choreographing for Pink while we were on the road, and like I learned Marty's style pretty well. You know, I had it down really good, and I mean, I was really good at that time. You know, I was booking jobs right and left with everybody. So Marty booked NSYNC, like the last leg of NSYNC's tour before they split up, and we wound up doing Girlfriend for the Grammys with Nelly. And then after that, Justin went solo. So Marty was already on, and I was already dancing, you know, with him before. So he brought me in for Justin's, I want to say it was his first single, might have been his second one. Okay. But I did the video for that, and then I did MTV Music Awards in New York, and then after that, you know, at that time I was like terrified to fly all the time, you know, so going on tour wasn't too much of an option for me unless I was sitting on a bus. Right. I don't know why the anxiety came out of nowhere. Taking a plane like over 150 times a year, you know, kind of like it wears on you. Sure. So I just needed a break.
Okay. You became friends with Justin?
Yeah, we were cool. Like all of us hang out, you know, here and there. It wasn't all the time. It's not like him and I were like talking to each other every day or things like that. We were friends though, you know.
Now, at what point did you end up meeting Shar Jackson?
I met Shar like, I can't remember, it was like before I did Michael maybe, or maybe right after, something like that. It was around 2001.
And when did you guys have your first child together?
2002.
Okay. And how old were you at the time?
I was 23.
Okay, pretty young.
Maybe 22. Yeah, I was young.
I mean, how was it you were making money, but it wasn't like you had a 9-to-5 job. Like the money was coming in in gigs.
Yeah, I mean, well, I mean, the thing is with like entertainment industry, you know, you're getting residuals all over the place for SAG jobs, movies that you've done, commercials, you know. So even when work's not steady, you're still bringing in good money. I mean, as long, you know, if you're shooting 2 or 3 commercials a year, even if you're not like a principal in that commercial, you're still making a pretty damn good living off of
Okay,
it.
so you were okay financially.
Yeah.
But you're still fairly young.
Oh, yeah.
You know, at 22, 23, having a kid. You know, how was that?
It was all right, man. I mean, my parents were pretty young whenever they had me. And I mean, I have had like a pretty good upbringing from my parents, you know. So I've known like who I was and how I'd be as a father before I was ever a father. I knew that if I had a child when I was younger, that I would be okay. And
Sure.
you know, I mean, financial things are you know, it's a necessity to have some food on the table and a roof over your head. But other than that, like, you just give your kid love, man, and
Yeah,
everything will be okay.
I feel you.
Hopefully.
So you and Shar were engaged at one point?
Nah.
No, never engaged. Okay. Now you guys had another son, right? And his middle name is Michael Jackson?
Yeah.
So what's his full name?
Caleb Michael Jackson Federline is his
Okay.
full name.
So why did you name him Michael? Why was the middle name Michael Jackson?
Because my father's middle name is, or my father's first name is Michael.
Okay.
So it wound up being Michael Jackson because she
Shar
hyphenated
Jackson. Oh, okay.
her last name.
Okay. I guess everyone assumed that it was.
Well, I don't
the
know if
same
she's said that or what. You know,
Okay.
you know.
So at what point did you meet Britney?
I don't know, man. It was like 2004 or 5, something like that.
And you were her dancer at one point?
Nah.
You were never her dancer? Okay. So you just met her how?
Mutual friends out at the club.
Okay. You guys hit it off right away? At what point did you guys start getting kind of serious and, you know, dating each other?
I don't know, man. I honestly, like, all that stuff, I've already talked about all that for so long. Like, you know, I'm kind of done talking about the whole Shar and Britney episode of my life.
Okay. Can we cover the Britney part somewhat?
I mean, if it's stuff that people would not know, then sure. But I feel like I've already said so much that, you know, I've talked about it so many times, and it's such like I feel like revisiting it all the time is not doing anybody any good.
Right. Well, it's kind of new to our audience. You know, I mean, Vlad TV people don't read People magazine, and you know, some of the, some of the more mainstream stuff. They kind of live in their own world. So you and Britney, you and Britney hooked up. How long after, you guys started dating did she actually get pregnant?
I'm not sure. I mean, it would have had to have been like around Christmas time after we first met. Because Preston was born in September, so 9 months before that. Jaden was born in September, like less than a year later.
Okay.
So I was back-to-backing him at that point, I guess.
Right.
You know? But yeah, we had 2 kids. Obviously, things didn't work out the way that they were supposed to.
Yeah.
But everything's okay, like life happens.
What was it like, once you and Britney became a couple, and Britney at the time was like the biggest star in the world, like the current generation, the 18, 19-year-olds,
right?
They look at Britney now and like, oh, okay, yeah, we know about her. I heard she had some big songs, but to be at that time,
Right.
Britney was like Rihanna, essentially.
Like the Kardashians
Yeah.
of the world, you know, it was like the beginning of that time era of like where reality TV meets like superstardom.
And the paparazzi thing started to form.
Yeah, I mean, all that was crazy, you know. That was a whole different lifestyle than I ever imagined, you know.
Okay.
That was not, I mean, just getting around from place to place and having 20 people follow you all day long, and you know what I mean, is like your whole life kind of being told and through somebody else's eyes, and everybody wants to put their own spin on it, you know. People want to do like good journalism, but really they don't. They want to do their journalism,
Right.
you know. And we like were caught right in the midst of that whole thing and made a whole bunch of people a whole lot of money just from pictures and small video clips, you know. I mean, now it's different because everybody could be a paparazzi, you know what I mean? People pull out their phone and bam, upload something onto their Snapchat and it goes viral from wherever they were at, you know.
Yeah, I mean, when you guys were sort of the beginning of what you see now.
Now, right? That's what
Yeah, you know, I never really thought of it that way, but but
it was the
you know,
beginning.
Britney and Kevin were like the Kim and Kanye of that era.
It's not like it hasn't happened before, but on that scale of like literally being followed, and we weren't the only ones getting it at that time. Obviously, you know, you got like Brad Pitt and
Angelina Jolie.
Yeah. Well, even that was before him and her. That was like in the midst of all that going on too.
Ah,
so
right.
That, you know, and then even the Jacksons were getting it because of the kids, and I mean,
yeah, I mean. Like for example, I personally, the reason why I stay behind the camera in all my interviews is because I don't want all that.
Right.
You know, like I could be way more famous than I am right now.
Right.
I choose
not
to be because I like to just move around. I like to go to the grocery store by myself. You know, yes, it's nice for people to admire your work and ask for a picture every so often, but not everywhere. Like I just, you know, I value my privacy to the point of staying out of the limelight. But you had no choice. You're thrown into this situation. You couldn't just go, you know, just undercover one day. Like unless you wore a disguise of some sort.
Not back then at all.
Yeah, back then, like
I mean, it was so crazy, you know. I mean, and I look back at it, and it's like, at times it is so overwhelming, you know. But the person that I am, like, things don't really bother me unless it's like really something serious, you know. If it's something that's like gonna harm my children or personally harm somebody that I love or that's next to me, that's close to me, you know. So like talk is cheap,
right?
You know. So I'm pretty strong when it comes to all that stuff. And I think that's how I like survived through it, you know. Personally survived through it, emotionally, mentally. Like I'm still the same person that I was when I moved to LA 20 years ago.
Right. What was like during that time? What were some of the craziest like rumors and gossip that wasn't true that came out about you and Britney that people would print and so forth?
Oh man, I don't even know. I couldn't even.
Tell me if I'm wrong, but I had heard that like the paparazzi would basically camp out at the gate of your gated community where you guys lived in Malibu, I guess. Yeah. And like literally, I mean, they couldn't get in and roll by your house, but they would basically be all camped out there. And then when you guys would leave, they would just all follow you.
Yep. It's just a caravan of cars. Man.
How many cars usually?
Probably 20.
20 paparazzi cars would follow you everywhere.
Yeah, and they're like filled with probably 2 to 4 people in each one.
Did you ever like, you know how how Tupac would spit at the paparazzi, you know, when he just lost it one day, or Justin Bieber, you know, you see him wilding out every so often. Was there just like a breaking point of like, leave me the fuck alone?
Nah, I mean, there was like always an underlying respect factor when it came to me, you know, because I would talk to him, you know, I'd go out there and talk to him, or I'd get with them on a personal level, some of them, you know. And then especially like because there were so many guys. I mean, there's still guys that were that I talk to every now and then. I'll see him around and I'll talk to him still to this day. You know, I've met guys that have built companies off of following us around for 2 years.
Wow.
You know, and they're like, come up to me like, thank you, man. Like, you don't understand how much this means to us, that, you know, you've always been a cool dude and this and that. So, I mean, it was a underlying respect when I asked them, okay, look, go ahead, take a few pictures, you know, and then let us have some time to ourselves. And I still do it to this day with my family, you know, if I don't want to be bothered, and it's not like I get followed all the time anymore, but if I do, you know, and they're like, look, you know, take a picture and then go ahead, you know, let me be with my kids and my wife. It's like, and they've always like kind of respected that. I mean, there's been a few times when they've like overstepped their boundaries, but there's always been like a security person there that's with us that puts a stop to all that real quick.
How did Britney take to all that? Was she as cool as you about it, or did it start to bother her?
I don't know, man. I mean, you got to look at it like, and not just her. I'll kind of speak for anybody that has gone through any of that for that long of a time.
Well, she came out as a teenager originally, and she came out platinum, like, right? She was big, like Baby Hit Me One More Time was like
instant
a hit.
hitter, yeah.
And then boom, like, and she stayed on that plateau for a while. So it wasn't a gradual build up into that. It was like, okay, boom.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you're full-fledged, like, thrown into it, and just hang on for the ride, because it's going to be a long one. You know, they don't really tell you that when you're 16 years old and they're throwing you in the mix. It's all money, money, money.
We have a mutual friend who I guess lived with you at one point, Disco D.
Oh, man. Yeah. He would come out and stay with me when we were working on some music, when I was trying to put together the first album, man. That dude, I think about that dude all the time.
Yeah, me too.
He was such a talented dude. You know what he told me back then? 2005. Maybe the second day that I ever was hung out with him, we were in the studio. He looked at me and he was like, hey, you keep doing this music shit, but you need to start fucking DJing. Back then.
Back then, yeah. Yeah,
Talking
I met him in Brazil, actually, right around maybe 2006 or so, because I remember he played me like Popuzada, I think.
Yeah.
You know, when we were out there in Sao Paulo, he was staying with his fiance, and you know, we filmed some music videos together with his group La Braza. He was fucking with. And, so he was telling me how, I guess he was staying at your house, you know, when you and Britney were living together in Malibu, and you guys were working on stuff. He also mentioned to me that she wasn't super supportive of you rapping.
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't think so. She was down. She was cool with it.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know where he would have got that from. That's interesting that he said that.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's passed now, so.
Yeah. Oh, man, when I got that phone call, I was just like, oh, dude.
Yeah, he ended up hanging himself, I guess.
I know.
I went to his funeral and everything.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah, that's so sad, man. I mean, he was suffering from other things.
He was bipolar.
The mental,
Yeah, he was bipolar.
Mm-hmm.
So you started doing the music thing. So you're saying that Britney was supportive of it? She was like, cool, two musicians in the family is fine? You know, because sometimes when you have someone at a certain level and someone else tries to do it and they're just starting, you know, you for example, you know what it kind of reminds me of, to be honest? Nicki Minaj and Safari. You know, where you have someone who's a mega star.
Right.
And someone who wants to do it, but they're not really, they haven't really started yet.
Right.
You know, or they have started yet, but they haven't gotten to any sort of level, like, you know, because I had heard from, you know, people that Nicki was not trying to have Safari rap.
Right.
You know, so then when Safari finally broke up, he kind of went and did his own thing.
Right.
You know, that's what it kind of reminded me of.
Yeah, man, I don't know, you know, like, I never really, I don't think either one of us really sat back and looked at it like that, you know. It was something, music's always been a part of who I am. I've always, you know, explored all kinds of avenues in music. So, you know, it was something that I wanted to try, and I wound up falling in love with making the music. So it didn't matter to me. It's not like I'm trying to be this huge pop star or, you know, I'm just trying to make music.
Right.
I'm trying to actually just play my music while I'm DJing. That's really what I'm trying to do.
Sure. At what point did you start DJing?
About 3 years ago, I got with my buddy DJ Prophet. Well, Big Boy and E-Man, they brought me into Power. We're like, look, man, you need to do this. And that kind of like, enough people had said it to me at that time. Enough people said it to me at that time that I was like, okay, I need to try this. So I got with my boy Prophet, who's been doing it since vinyl.
Right.
And it was instant. You know, it was like, all right, I found something that I really love to do, like as much as I did dancing or as much as I do rapping or, you know. So it's, I mean, and you see it, like just this last weekend I was in Arizona and I went and I threw down for 2.5 hours, and this DJ that's like a resident DJ there that's been DJing for 15 years comes up to me at the end of the night and he's like, you know what? He's like, I didn't know what to expect. He's like, you know, you hear about these like celebrity DJ come in here, and he was like, bro, you threw down. You know, it's like one of those things where, and just that alone, just him telling me that alone lets me know that I'm doing the right thing.
There was an article, I guess in the Daily Mail, that was saying that you make $10,000 a night DJing these days. That's what's up.
I mean, it varies, bro. You know, it's one of those things that, I mean, obviously, if you're going to travel overseas and you're going to go overseas and work overseas, you're going to want more money to do something like that.
Right.
I'm not going to sit here and tell everybody that I do it for free, but I love it that much.
Yeah.
You know, so at the end of the day, to collect a $10,000 check, I'm happy about it and it's great, but you know, I'm not really doing it for the money.
Right, but the money helps.
The money always helps.
Right, and I came from a DJ background myself.
Oh yeah,
you know,
yeah.
That's
So,
where the DJ Vlad name.
Right.
You know, and what I realized at one point when because I came out thinking I was going to be the biggest club DJ in New York. I moved from the Bay to New York, and I started DJing heavily. And what I started to realize very quickly was, it wasn't really based on like the gigs that people got, especially the higher paying gigs, wasn't really based on the skill level of the DJ. It was based on the celebrity of the DJ. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And this is why I kind of started to get out of it.
Right.
Because I realized it didn't matter how good I got, how much I practiced. If my name wasn't big, no one was going to book me for more than like a couple $100 a night.
Right.
Which you can't survive off of.
Right.
You know, and this is why it was interesting. And you're kind of part of that wave of celebrities turned DJs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
You know?
No.
Paris Hilton.
Right.
The dude from Jersey Shore. What's his name? Pauly D. Like,
Brody.
I'm trying to think who else. Like, you have all these people who didn't really come from musical backgrounds exactly, or DJ backgrounds, that end up DJing and getting a lot of money by doing that. And, you know, I'm sure at the time I probably felt some type of way about it, you know, and I was trying to compete with y'all. But these days it's like, all right, well, at the end of the day, it's all about a club and how many tickets you sell and how many drinks you sell at the club. So
pretty much,
if this person has a name and they bring the crowd, they deserve that money.
Right. I mean, that is it. I mean, and a lot of it now is all social media stuff, which I'm kind of a dinosaur at. But, you know, to go back and say, I have come from a musical background. You know what I mean? Music has been my life since I was 12 years old. And that, you know, I saw my first, like, breaking video and seen these dudes on the street, you know, a couple years later. And, like, I mean, it's just, that was it.
Sure. So, you and Britney end up having 2 kids, and you guys get married.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, Britney actually files for divorce. Did that really hit you, like off guard, or did you really feel like it was leading up to that?
I don't know. I can't, like, That time of my life, there's so many different like pieces missing because of everything that was going on. You know, that was at like the height of everything, and then you're like thrown into this thing, and you're thrown into that thing, and this, you know, the in between stuff. You know, I know it happened. I know, you know, why it happened. I mean, that's pretty much all that I'm gonna say about any of that stuff. So
after you guys split up, you had sole custody of the children?
Mm-hmm.
And why was that? Because you don't usually see that with fathers. You like almost never see it with fathers.
No,
actually.
I mean, you know, all I was trying to do was get 50-50 custody. And, you know, events that unfolded over time, you know, if you want to Google them and go back and look at them, then you'll see, you know, why it turned out the way that it did. But now, none of that matters. Everything is cool. You know, both of us have moved on. Our kids are doing great.
Yeah.
I've got a wife and 2 more kids. Very happy with my life right now. And I mean, it still involves my exes, obviously. You know, we got kids. It's like something that...
You have how many kids now?
6.
6 kids. So you have 2 kids with Shar, 2 kids
crazy.
with Britney, and now 2 kids with your wife.
Crazy. I didn't plan it. You
Right.
know, I mean, how could you plan something like that?
Well, one of the big things that kind of came out, you know, at the time that you guys were going through the whole, you know, custody thing and everything else like that, you end up winning sole custody, and it was reported that you were getting $20,000 a month in child support, which once again, men everywhere really were like, yo, like, this never happens. Like, it just never happens when the courts actually give the man sole custody and actually give the man child support.
I mean,
Like you were like the poster, you're like the hero for like single dads everywhere, like around the world right now.
I've had a few come up to me and tell me how they feel about it.
Really?
For sure.
So give me an example of
No. I'm not, you know, this is definitely not anything to brag about. Not to me.
Okay.
And it's not something that I asked for either. You know,
That was well. I mean, it's based on incomes and
Right.
and the lifestyle that the children are accustomed to,
Right.
and everything else like that.
Exactly.
I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, if you're living in a mansion, you don't want your kids shouldn't be living in
a shack.
in a shack.
Exactly.
And I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, you're exactly right. I mean, and that's it. That's, you know, it's all about the kids. That's what it's for. That's why they call it what it is. You know, they're supposed to be able to live a life that they're accustomed to. And, I mean, if the shoe was on the other foot, then I'd be I'd be in those shoes, you know,
Okay.
smiling and be full willing. I take care of all of my other kids too, so.
Sure. After sort of the tumultuous time and you getting sole custody and everything else like that, did it eventually work out where you guys started getting split custody and everything started to kind of work its way out?
Yeah, man. I mean, time heals everything.
Yeah.
You know, you could hate somebody for 20 years of your life and eventually forgive them. Everything will always work out the way that it's supposed to work out.
What's your relationship with Britney these days?
We're cool. I mean, we're cordial. You know, we talk, we hang out at the games. You know, wife is cool with her. Everybody, you know, I mean.
And your kids with Britney are how old now?
9 and 10.
Okay, so still pretty young. Still young
pretty
kids.
young. They're getting to that age right now. Yeah, I mean, they're great, man. All of my kids are great. I've been so blessed to have the children that I have. You know, they all get along, they all love each other, they all respect each other for the most part. I mean, you get that brother, you know, you get that family feud in there a little bit, but that's gonna happen. That's, you know, I remember how I was with my siblings. But yeah, like, family life is great. Well, and I think too, like, that's why it took me so long to get to where I'm at right now, as far as like doing music again and DJing and all that, because I took the time out to like help my kids grow up the right way.
So you essentially just became a full-time father? Like you pretty
I
much
was
put everything aside, more or less?
The music I did, you know, I did obviously, you know, I did Celebrity Fit Club because I was gaining weight and needed to lose weight, and I'm very unmotivated when it comes to like hitting the gym, and I hate running.
Okay, well, like how much do you weigh now?
Shoot, I'm probably like 215 right now.
Okay, 215. We're about the same size. I'm
Yeah,
about 210,
yeah,
215.
yeah.
How big did you get?
I was like 245, right around there.
That's not too bad.
No, but it was like a swollen 245. He's gonna Google and look up the picture right now.
Actually, yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing.
Dude, you know, and the thing is like with that, it was weird. It's like my metabolism like slowed down. I hit that 30-year-old range, and like everything just kind of stopped and was like, hey. And
Oh, wow.
I was-
245, you say?
Yeah,
Looks a bit bigger.
I know.
I mean, like,
Dude, I know. It's because my legs were like skinny, but
oh, is that what it was? Because
like
your gut.
my
So,
gut and my man boobs.
so was there a reason why you got that heavy? Or you just not working out, not dancing?
Yeah, I think, you know, lack of physical exercise, and you know, even my wife Victoria's like, I didn't eat all day long. You know, I'd eat like a little bit in the afternoon, and then at like 10, 11 o'clock at night, I'd kill a whole pizza.
Okay.
You know, so it was one of those things where it was like just gradually over time, everything just started packing on, and I was, who knows what I was thinking.
Okay.
But I mean, ever since then, you know, it's like you battle, you struggle with it all, you know, and the older you get, the harder it is. Like right now, I'm already, because last year, or maybe like a year and a half ago, I'd got all the way down to like 185. And now I've put on like 30 pounds, and I'm just now like trying to get back down. So it's like this roller coaster of, you know, you just got to stay active. If you could just sit there and think to yourself, stay active. Look how much your kids run around, you know? If you could run around like that, then you'd be golden.
Did you and Britney have a reality show at one point?
It was a thing called Chaotic, in which what
Chaotic,
it was
right.
it was just a bunch of footage that I shot while we were on tour overseas, and they kind of put it all together.
Okay, so it wasn't a real reality show. It wasn't Love and Hip Hop, like it wasn't the real world.
It was like home video footage of sitting down and like being stupid with each other.
Okay, and they actually put that out
They did.
on
I mean,
TV?
it was funny. I mean, you know, certain parts of it were funny. Some of it was like, I mean, what are you gonna do if somebody hands you like their home footage tapes and it's like, here, make a show out of this?
So you guys weren't even involved in the production of it at all?
I want to say probably a little bit, yeah. I can't remember like how involved we were. Definitely wasn't sitting down in the bay with the guys editing it like, oh yeah, put that there, put this here.
Okay.
It would have been.
So it was just basically just they offered you a check for this footage, and it was like, all right, go ahead.
Yeah, you know, I don't know exactly like how it came about and how it all like wound up happening. It was one of those things that.
All right, because it's not like, I mean, because it came out while you and Britney were still married, right?
Yeah.
So this is near the height of her career, where she's making hundreds of thousands of dollars per show. So why even bother with putting this stuff out? That's what I didn't quite understand.
I don't know, man. You got me. I have no idea.
But it came out. Okay. Why'd you decide to actually do reality television? You know, with the whole weight loss thing. Celebrity Fit Club.
I mean, other than like getting a check to lose weight, I mean, if somebody paid you to lose weight, wouldn't you be like, all right, yeah, let's go right now?
Was it a big check or was it
Big enough to lose weight.
okay?
I don't know, you know, I think there's a few like decisions that I made, obviously, when it comes to doing reality TV, like, that I probably would never make now that I'm older and I realize, you know, I mean, they offered me even to do shows with the kids and all this stuff, and it's just like, I'm not doing that, dude.
Right.
You know, it's ridiculous. But at that time, I needed to lose weight. And I felt like, okay, I can do this, I can collect a check, and I'm gonna lose weight in like 9 weeks. You know, it's like a quick turnaround. Mm-hmm. They put you on the diet plan, they got you out there working out, they give you the regimen. You know, you're not out there for a whole 9 weeks at a time. They make it seem like you're there, but no, you're there for like 3 days out of the week, you know, and then you go home to your family for 4 days a week. So, and you're doing your workouts at home yourself, and you know, and they're there like at your disposal. You know, the people that were on the show, what was it, Harvey and Ian and them, they were like there if you wanted to call and talk to them and ask them like, look, I need help doing this, or, you know. But at that time, like, that got me motivated. And that's pretty much like the main reason why I did it, because I knew, like, signing on to that, there's no turning back. Like, I'm not gonna go on TV and not lose weight and look like a dumbass. I'm gonna go on there and keep my mouth shut, and then, you know, they throw the whole one of your exes on the show with you into the mix, and it's just like, dude, is this a show about losing weight, or is it a show about, you know, I mean, obviously that's when I got my first big taste of reality TV, and it's so drama driven, and it's just like, man, I don't like drama. Yeah. So, you know, after doing that, I was pretty much done with reality TV. Right.
Yeah, like I've actually turned down reality TV shows. Like I've done guest appearances on Love and Hip Hop, but as I'm interviewing someone on the show.
Right. Exactly. It's
pushing
your job.
my business.
You're doing, exactly.
I'm not getting paid for it. Like I'm just coming
now, if
in.
I could have reality TV like Rob Dyrdek has reality TV, then I'd sign up for it all day. You know what I mean? It's like, there's two sides of it. But the only reality TV that they want me for is that drama-driven, oh, let's go find some girl in China that he met about 10 years ago and pop up with some kid that looks like him. It's like...
I feel you.
That's, I feel you. So, yeah, I mean, and that's another thing. That's another reason why I think I love doing what I do now so much, is because I don't have to do interviews like this. I don't have to talk about my personal life. I don't, you know, I just go out there and play for a crowd of people and watch people get nuts.
Yep. Well, you have a new video out. You took a shot at Amber Rose and Kanye. I mean, not really a shot, but the whole finger in the booty thing kind of played a role. And
it's pretty extreme scene, I would say. Meme. Yeah. It's a pretty extreme meme. Yeah, you know, like for us, we're trying to show the ridiculousness of Hollywood, you know? Not necessarily that is an actual Hollywood-driven thing, but it's like you put these people up here, you love to make fun of them, you know what I mean? You're like feeding off of everything that's being told to you. You know, sometimes it gets pretty outrageous, I think, you know, how far Hollywood takes it.
Right.
Not that I hate Hollywood, I love Hollywood, but it's definitely a two-sided coin.
Right, and you had Andy Dick in the video.
Yeah, man, that was a must. I think like when we were even recording the record, we were talking about making sure that we had Andy Dick in the video. So like his part was kind of already like not fully planned, but we knew, like, I knew I wanted him in there. I mean, he's funny, man. Yeah. He's a pretty good character to have. And it was fun, you know, we had a good time. Took 3 days to shoot, but.
It's a cool video. I was watching it earlier today.
Thanks, man.
Definitely the production value was great. And honestly, like, Andy Dick kind of stole the show.
He steals it.
He really stole the show.
Absolutely.
in that video.
Absolutely. His parts are hilarious, bro.
Definitely.
I mean, he's good, like I said. We knew we couldn't go wrong with him, you know, and I mean, he's like 17 months sober now. He was 15 months sober at the time that we shot. So he came out with like his sober companion or whatever that is. They were cool, man. All those guys. Those were the guys that were with him, like his crew in the video.
Okay.
And they were all pretty good, man.
Last year, you said some stuff about Beyonce. Where did that come from exactly?
I mean, I was just making a joke to a friend of mine.
You said, so sad when a beautiful woman chops and screws her face up with Botox and surgery. # soft face.
Yeah, that wasn't like necessarily directed at her.
Well, you know, and then Terez Owens said something about Beyonce let the boobs out,
right,
air out, and you
right.
said she looks Botoxed.
Right. That was a joke.
And you used to dance for Beyonce.
I did. That's what I mean. Like, you know,
it's like full circle, kind of.
It is. I definitely. It was pretty disrespectful. Obviously. Yeah, you know, sometimes you do things that you probably shouldn't have done. I definitely got hit by the Beehive.
Oh, the Beehive hit you?
Oh. Yeah.
Do you think that Beyonce had Botox and work done?
I don't know. Who knows? Who has, who hasn't? Who cares?
I mean, I honestly, and this is my opinion, I don't think Beyonce had that baby. I think there was a surrogate.
Oh, now you're getting in on a whole nother topic.
Right. I'm going to say, so if the Beehive wants to attack me, they can go ahead.
Right.
But, you know, I've seen enough pregnant women in my day.
Me too.
What they look before their pregnancy, during their pregnancy, and then after their pregnancy, and Beyonce did not fit into any of these categories. You know what I'm saying? When she was pregnant, she did not look pregnant. After she had,
I know a few people that would agree with you right there.
After she had the baby, she didn't look like she was ever pregnant. When you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sorry, like your body changes. You had children with 3 women now, so you've seen the process 6 times. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah, but see, this is like, you know, after I said what I said, you know, I kind of sat back and it's like, man, you know, people have jumped into my personal life so much and so often, like, why go and be that person, you know? Whether she did, she didn't, who cares, really? If they're happy, cool, you know?
I mean, we know what it is. I think if you're going to do it,
just say it.
Just say you're doing it.
Claim it.
Like, did you ever see that one video where she sits down and
did.
like the stomach sort of compresses?
Yeah,
like,
I did. I know. I saw it.
You know, it's like, okay, listen, you are a celebrity. You get paid off your appearance. Right?
Or your art form, or like.
Yeah, but your appearance is a big part of your presentation.
It's become everything.
You show a lot of skin. You show a lot of leg. You have big hair, you know, everything else like that. There's a lot that goes on. You're not Adele. You don't come in with like, you know, a big muumuu dress on and just sing your ass off. You dance, you perform. A lot goes into your body and everything else like that. I don't think it's very far-fetched to say, I'm going to get a surrogate to give birth to my baby because so much of my income and career comes from my body.
Right. Yeah.
Point blank, period. Like, this is what it is. And I have the money to get a surrogate, you know, and I'm going to pay this woman $100,000 and carry my baby, and I'm going to put her up in my mansion and the guest house and make sure she eats the right food, and she's going to have the baby, she gets her check, and then, you know, we keep it moving. This is legal technology. You know, lots of people do it. Especially lots of rich people. And she's worth $500 million. This is what it is. If y'all don't like it, y'all don't like it. But this is what happened. But this whole fake stomach thing that she seemed to have had, and
it's here today, gone tomorrow. Like, I think that's how fast things move. So you could pretty much get away with doing whatever you want. That's how I think a lot of people see it. Obviously, you know, honesty goes a long way. People feel that more. That's why I think like some artists back in the day, man, some of them are so brutally honest, like Tupac, but you had
Right.
to love him for it.
Oh yeah.
You loved him.
Right. When he, and, you know, I just interviewed Thug Life, and you know, and we talked about like when he said, and even as a crack fiend, mama, you always were a black queen, mama. It's like he just called his mom a crack fiend.
But still told her he loved her
He
more
still
than
told her
anything
he
on
loves
this
her,
planet.
but he put that out there like
Real
wow.
life. Yeah, man, that's it. And you know, it goes so long, it goes so far with people because the connection that people feel they make with you through that is insane. You know, truth is always better than trying to cover up stuff. And if you don't want to talk about something, just say I don't want to talk about it. Just like I'm kind of telling you that I don't want to talk about me and Britney. You know,
I feel
that's the truth. You know.
I mean, when you look at sort of what you went through, you know, in the public eye, with the paparazzi, with, you know, and this was before social media, and you look at, you know, the people today who are going through similar stuff, do you think it's pretty much the same, or do you think it's magnified because of social media and everything else like that?
I don't know. You know, it's some of it is the same, some of it's different, and I think like it depends on the person. Like there's people that they want to be out there like that as much as they can because that's their income. The minute that goes away and nobody cares what you're doing in your day-to-day life, then it all, you know, go ahead.
Well, I don't know if you follow this or not, but you know Drea from Basketball Wives? Dre and Michelle from Basketball Wives. Let me just show you a picture.
I probably.
I'll show you a picture.
Yeah.
That might jog your memory a little bit. This is Dre and Michelle.
Oh yeah.
Dre and Michelle posted a video on Instagram of her actually giving birth. And she's actually like pulling the baby out at the end, but she actually put this on Instagram.
Hey man, I mean honestly, it's not something that you couldn't just go and turn the TV on and watch one of the medical channels and see. So
I understand
there's
that.
so many things out there now. Like that to me is, I mean, it's much to see. Don't get me wrong. Like,
can you imagine putting the birth of one of your children on Instagram?
I mean, it's not for me. I would never do it. You know, that would never go down. You know, even if the mom wanted to, I'd be like, man, you're crazy. We'll go to court over this right here.
You want to see this video?
No, I don't.
I don't blame you. It's crazy. I couldn't watch the whole thing.
I've already seen 6 of them.
Right.
And it was beautiful because it's yours, you know?
Right. Well, I mean, the one thing that you know, we talked about this earlier in the interview, is that you never try to exploit your kids for monetary gain. Like you even mentioned how you're offered reality shows to show you and your kids.
Right.
And you turned it down.
Right.
Do you feel like in this day and age, people are exploiting their kids?
I don't know. You know, I don't follow that. That's the thing, is like I don't follow it as that much to really know. And who knows, even like something like that right there, like she might have had like a whole different purpose for doing that.
Well, she posted on Mother's Day. It was like, Happy Mother's Day. Here's
I mean,
here's me being a mother. This is her second child. You know, she has a child already.
yeah.
But like I don't know. Like
It's hard. Like the one thing that I try not to do is to even try to figure out half of the stuff that some of these people do, because it'll drive you crazy, you know. But some of it works. I mean, man, there's people out there that have literally become Insta famous, or you know what I mean, off of social media and stuff, and they're really brilliant with it and it catches and people love it, or it's so out there that people want to watch it to see what you're gonna do next.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, you became Insta famous.
Mm-hmm. In a different way, though.
Well, you became Insta famous because you were with Britney.
Right.
But, you know, I mean, like, you were known in the dance circles and everything else like that. But
Right.
the world did not know Kevin Federline to the extent that they knew him until suddenly he's connected with one of the biggest people on the planet.
What I meant by Insta-famous was like on Instagram, Insta-famous.
Oh, okay.
Like social media, strictly, you know. I mean, dude, there's people that are out there that you would never even known who they were if it wasn't for social media, and they're collecting $15,000, $20,000 checks to show up and go wave hi to people at a club.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've interviewed Welvin the Great. You know who that is?
Yeah.
Who's, you know, mentally disabled.
Right.
Somewhat.
Right.
And, you know, has some teeth problems and so forth. But he's getting $7,500 a walk through, and he getting with some chicks that are kind of attractive, like, you know. And it's funny because people like, yo, he's being exploited. People are laughing at him and not with him. But let's just take a step back and say, let's just take all this away, and let's take a look at where his life would be without all this.
That's right.
He would be the mentally disabled kid that people would pick on or laugh at, or, you know.
Right.
I think he mentioned he had a job like sweeping up at a school and stuff like that. Like, his life would be so much less eventful.
Right.
Than where it is now. And it's funny because Dre was actually the one that kind of blew him up.
Oh, really?
You know, yeah, she posted him on her Instagram, and then boom, next thing you know.
That's dope.
Yeah, and it's like, you have someone who really would not have had a path to any of this.
Right.
It was, you know, you could not.
Right.
He would not be booked for $7,500 no matter what he did in that original life.
I wonder if he's like truly happy with it, or if
he seemed genuinely happy.
Like he loves it.
Oh man.
How could you not?
He's getting girls, like.
That's awesome.
You know, and I thought I thought that they was bullshitting. You know, I thought, oh, he not really fucking these girls and stuff like that. And they started going into specifics, him and his man, because he has sort of like a friend who's sort of like his handler kind of.
Right.
And they started going to these specific stories.
So he tells me, because we had a rental, so he tells me, he was like, hey, catch an Uber, meet us at the room. I'm like, what? So by the time we got to the car, he had 4 girls. It's me in a 5-seater Camaro, but he kicked me out of the car so he can go to the room with the girls.
It's interesting because, you know, yeah, you didn't try to get it, but you were thrown into this world of celebrity without actually building up to it and so forth.
Right. There was no machine behind pushing it at all. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. You know.
I mean, when you look back on it, do you feel like thankful for that? You know, the fact that you could get $10,000 a show by DJing. Because think about it, if you went from dancing to DJing and you take out the whole Britney part, you probably wouldn't be getting $10,000 a show for DJing.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Like you never really know. You know, like that's the thing. Like I'll never know. You know, whether it would have happened on the scale that it is right now. Probably not. This
is not to take away from the skill level of what you do. But like I said before, when it comes to DJing, it's not about the skill level.
No,
it's about the celebrity.
Right.
You know
it's just the push. It's like, how good are you at like promoting yourself? And how good is it, like the connection that you make with other people, and other people want to promote you. Once you get to that state where like people are promoting you, you know, just off of the love, that's when stuff starts to blow.
Right.
And I look back and it's just like, I don't ever regret anything. You know, I told myself when I was a teenager that I was gonna live a life without really like having that true regret for anything. You know, you take what's given to you, and you deal with it, and you do what you can. You know, and the number one thing for me has always been to like make sure that you're doing something that you love to do. So I mean, probably if I would have never been with her and I would have been DJing and I loved to do it and I was making $200 a night, I'd be happy as shit. I like the money, obviously. But
I'll keep it as someone who used to make $200 a night.
You're like,
yes, you are happy in that moment.
Yes.
But when you get into your crummy car and go back to your shitty apartment,
exactly. You're like, man.
The happiness starts to wear off a bit.
After a while, I'm sure it does, man. I'm sure it does.
Yeah, man. So what's next for you?
Man, I'm just pushing, you know. I'm out in Vegas at least once or twice a month.
DJing?
Yep, DJing.
Dope. So you have residency out there?
Yeah, at the strip club.
Dope.
It is. It really is. It's like the perfect place for me, I think.
Which strip club?
At Crazy Horse.
Crazy Horse.
Yeah,
Crazy Horse 2?
Horse 3.
3, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I honestly will probably put a couple of more records out strictly for the strip club and just try to run a whole strip club tour around the States. That would be fun. At least in the big cities, you know? Like, it's always the hot places. If I could get in there, it'd be great. But yeah, that's it, man. I you know, music, DJing, family, kids always, you know, it's like a constant thing. If it was up to me, I'd keep my kids as far away from this business for as long as I can. Other than that, man, just keep pushing.
That's what it is.
Yeah, bro.
Cool, man. Appreciate it.